officially jump into game number 2.
That's right, game number 2. Cloud9 1 point ahead of the Bloodthirsty Kings so far. If we look at game number 1, we got to see Cloud9 be very aggressive with the power of Chip to be able to displace BTK and keep them uncomfortable, allowing Cloud9 to take majority of these objectives. And you're looking at Cold World planning to do possibly the same thing on being aggressive, but Shark on this show, ready to go the distance.
Yeah, Shark on the show, and even though we see Cloud9 kind of clear up the waves a little bit, Cold World's forced to get away from this, which means Hoon's going to have the advantage in clearing things, and Shark not even worried about it. He's like, he knows his objective, he knows his job, and it is stay in best player's face.
Yeah, I mean, Shark is one of those roamers. He's known to kind of harass the enemy jungle, right? He's known to try and be that gnat that you can't swipe away, and it's been effective. If he can pull that off against Cloud9, it could help ease the way for the Bloodthirsty Kings to be able to take these objectives in the early game. I mean, look at him right now. He's all over the place, even inside of the mid lane. But good separation from Cold World and Mark Cutie, limiting the damage output provided by him.
Yeah, I mean, and both roamers go for the concussive blast. Gonna help him out a bit in terms of wave clearing. Gonna help him out a bit with a little bit more damage. Something to point out, though, Basic with the Aegis spell here. You know, a lot of times we see Wanwan just go for the Purify, maybe for the Flicker. I don't know if it's something, you know, slightly different idea. It can help him be a little bit more aggressive. Also give a bit more shield to everybody, but a lot of damage coming in the top side.
Ooh, Nat's very low. Need to get out of there. MOBA Zane able to secure the first blood to take him down. One slight advantage for the early game.
But once again, BTK, control of the laning phase. This is somewhere that they thrive consistently, even against Cloud9, and it's something without the chip, without the easy rotations to keep up, Cloud9 has to be careful for.
Yeah, definitely needing to pick your poison and wait. You don't want to allow Cloud9 to be overly aggressive in the early phase and take the objectives away from Mobazane. We know he thrives on these rotations. To be able to get a kill this early in the game is definitely off to a great start. Look at Zia, though, on the bot side. Some good zonage up against Basic.
Honestly, I feel like when it comes to the 1v1, Zia has been getting the better of Basic a bit, and this has been kind of like the grudge match between these two. When it comes to, you know, gold medals, NACT, I think we're at a point that Basic has gotten a bit more, has gotten, you know, the higher champ stats, but Zia wants to prove that he's the best gold laner in NA, and some people will tell you two different things. You know, it depends on, you know, who you're shipping, what boat you're on right now, but currently in these two games, when it comes down to the 1v1, Zia has been getting the better.
Yeah, speaking of getting the better, Nat's caught out of position again and quickly punished by Fried Chicken. Finding his second death of the game, both sides going out the way. The Dragon connecting. Mobazane will take down best player. 2 members down for Cloud9, extending the lead 3-0.
Okay, beautiful plays. They find Nats. Not only that, they get a great way of the Dragon, but more damage coming up under the tower.
Yeah, Mark Cutie and Cold World left to defend against 4 members of the Bloodthirsty Kings. Able to take down the minions. Drops a Guardian's Barrier as well, trapping Hoon. Able to sidestep back to safety, but not able to push into that tier 3 turret.
As Shark goes back to base, we'll give a little bit of space for Cloud9 to regain some ground. Bloodwings do just get locked in for Mobazane. He's 2-0-1. He's doing exactly what we saw last time. Let's take a look at this play. Nat's taken out, and watch for this way of Dragon coming from Shark. He goes for best player, brings him back in, and that is pretty much it for best player. There's no escape. He tries to like and pounce, but it's not enough. You know, there was a nerf that came in onto the Roger, and it's one of the reasons why we haven't seen him be as critical as a pick as we used to. The like and pounce, I mean, the ult just isn't as good as he used to be. Roger just not doing as much as he used to. And in the past, even when the Roger was jungle, we would see a lot of time double fighter off lane. So I feel like having ooh, wait a second, Fried Chicken in trouble?
Yeah, Demonic Force dropping down, forcing out the brilliance from Mark Cutie. Back to safety. Mobazane, with all the chaos, will be able to get the turtle. 2 turtles for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
All right, so yeah, as I was saying, I feel like best player may have been in better hands if Basic got the Ruby Gold, right? If they had the double fighter off lane. But seeing that they don't have as strong as a front line this time, just the glue and the grok, it could be a problem for best player. Taking a look at the items, though, I want to focus back on Mobazane. He's 2-0-1. He's got the Bloodwings. He's 4K. He's 1.5 ahead of best player.
Ooh, speaking of best player, a hit with the G-Kundo and away the Dragon and shut down by Zia. Nas may be next if he's not careful. Forces out the split push, split, and also a tier 3 turret in BTK's favor.
All All right, so BTK 4-0, 4K gold lead on top of that 4, up against Cloud9, wave control, lane control. They've taken the first tower of the game. It's looking similar to last time, and last week, but this time, I think as long as they can make sure Basic doesn't make any cheeky off-lane side pushes, you know, if they can control the macro, BTK will be okay here.
Yeah, you are going to see Basic forced to rotate to the top side now. Going to be going up against Fried Chicken on this Phobius. I wonder if he's going to stay there or if Zia is going to rotate to go up against him. But right now, you can definitely tell BTK is in control of this early game. Some quick rotations, a lot of objectives working in their favor, and have found no deaths on top of that. Pretty much a flawless game. Highest kills going over to Mobazane himself.
Yeah, I feel like with the way that the kills have gone, the 3 players we need to watch on Cloud9 to try to make the turnaround are going to be Mark Cutie, Cold World, Basic, right? Mark Cutie and Basic for the damage, but wait, Nat's in trouble once again.
Hit without
Taken
defended.
out.
Moon will be able to shut him down. That's Nat's 3rd death so far in this game. BTK climbing with this lead, a snowball in the making, and Cloud9 needs to be careful or it's going to roll on top of them.
The Shark's been so aggressive on this show, man. 3 assists right now. 3 out of the 5 kills he's had a huge part of. And as I said, luckily Basic Mark Cutie hasn't taken a kill because that's, I think at this point, best player's out, right? Best player is essentially out of commission. I don't know how he's going to be the big turnaround. Mark Cutie and Basic are going to have to step up, but BTK, they're in the same shoes that Cloud9 had last game. BTK just need to play solid. They need to control lanes. They need to take towers and keep on moving forward.
And speaking of that, Zane on the same wavelength will take to tier 3 on the top side. Only a tier 3 standing in the mid lane. If they can push that in, they should be able to invade more comfortably onto the side of Cloud9's map. Zia, a little bit of displacement. 3 members make that 4 of Cloud9 on his tail. Given everything they've got, the split.
Yeah.
The tank comes out. He's still alive. Mark Cutie. The finishing touches will take him down. Who will find Cool World to respond back? But my God, Zia was holding on for dear life.
Gold lane Ruby is disgusting. Can we just all admit the fact of that right now? It does a great amount of damage. Its sustainability is off the charts. It doesn't make any sense. And I think this Ruby may end up actually being the big trade factor between these two teams. The Ruby and the gold lane may be the big game changer for whoever gets it.
Yeah, definitely need some answers for Cloud9 right now. 6-2-1 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Warax for Zia, speaking of him, he's 6,000 gold. He's closing in on a 2,000 above Basic right now. Basic's got the Scythe, he just got the DHS. But when we take a look at Zia, he's coming in on the 3rd item right now. He also has the boots. He's just got a strong lead, and you pair that up with the Way of the Dragon.
Yeah, it does connect onto Nats, force out the split. You are going to see Cold World forced to use that wild charge for the knockup to allow Nats to get back to safety. BTK just forcing Cloud9's hand right now. I mean, look at them now invading into their jungle, denying all the farm they can. Holy Crystal as well, picked up by Zane for some additional magic power.
Yeah, I mean, Zane being 2-0-3, just like what we saw from Best Player last game, Zane is even scaring off the tanks on the side of Cloud9. Nat's taking those 3 deaths at 9 minutes in. He's not really able to hold down the front line, and every time he tries to dive in, Shark is there ready to give him a swift kick to the face. I mean, and Shark is ready to give a swift kick to the face to anybody right now. Best Player doesn't feel safe. Nats doesn't feel safe. Shark is all around the map, and speaking of him, here he goes once again.
Yeah, both sides fighting on the orange buff. The Terrify connects onto Shark. Looks like they are still going to go in for it. Zane able to deny the orange buff from Best Player. Now the battle may be on the way for the tier 3 in the mid lane. Hoon ready to take the fight. Zia is going to connect with a lot of crowd control, but Cloud9 able to hold off that turret. Look at the Lord on the top side, though. This is going to buy BTK some time to be able to push in even further and take down the tier 2s. You're looking at the bot side. Chicken already in position to be able to take it.
No. Lord's going to be coming in. Cloud9 should be able to defend this. They have 2 marksmen. They have a lot of damage, but look at the damage on a Cold World.
Ooh, Zia will be able to take the tier 3 turret in the mid lane on top of all this engagement. Lord does get bursted down, but you are going to see the tier 2 fall alongside it. Chicken finds the tier 2 on the bot side. You find the one on the mid as well by Zia, and now the inhibitors are all that's standing for Cloud9. Not a single turret has fallen for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
And the big thing for BTK here is because they haven't lost any of those turrets, it's a lot harder for Cloud9 to try to macro this, right? It's a lot harder for them to make those sneaky plays. And last time, Basic had the Claude, which is a lot more slippery of a hero. They also had Best Player on a much more mobile Assassin. Taking a look at the items, though, and speaking of Best Player, he's just hitting the 6K mark. He is far, far behind. Even Shark is sitting at 4,800 right now, keeping his grounds. He's got the Thunderbelt in. He builds half magic, half physical. He's able to have enough defense, and nobody's really packing a punch just yet on the side of Cloud9.
Even Mobazane's level 15 compared to Best Player at level 12 at the 11-minute mark, now trickling to the mid-game. And it's looking like the end game with the pace that BTK is performing on. Speaking of pace, the purple buff on the way. The wild charge forced from Cold World back into the mid lane to safety. And another denial and an evasion play by BTK, allowing Mobazane to take the purple buff.
Even though they don't get a kill there, since they get the purple buff, it's huge for the side of BTK, right? Now at this point, Mobazane goes farm some of his own jungle. They got 22 seconds to kill, sit in some bushes, eat some snacks, and wait for Cloud9 at this point. Cloud9, what is the answer, Wheezy?
The answer is being a little bit more passive. I feel like they're getting too far behind to take these engagements. And with all the objectives stacked in BTK's favor, this is where they thrive, right? They're in their natural element. You are going to see this Lord spawn in, though. Luminous Lord now in effect, and you're already seeing Mobazane quickly heading over to it. Cloud9, they're looking like they're focusing more on the split push, trying to find some type of opportunity to open up this map. They're not even going to be able to make it to this Lord. The only thing they can do right now is defend.
I mean, with Best Player being level 12, too, below Zane, it's like you can't even really go for the Retry battle, right? Cloud9, the only way they could get the Retry win, honestly, is if they get a big stun onto Mobazane. And the problem is Cold World and Nats, their two big stunners, aren't able to get in without getting shredded down. So BTK, unless they make some huge whiff here, right? Unless they make some big mistake, it does feel very comfortable in their hands. They do, I will say, there is a clock on this, right? They do need to, you know, finish this game. I think even if they don't finish it in this Lord, I think third Lord is going to be extremely important if they're not able to finish it here. Because after third, once we get to fourth and fifth, Cloud9 starts to max out on items. Everyone starts to hit that level 15 mark, and the game starts to slowly even out instead of becoming more and more of an advantage to BTK.
And we're going to figure out if they can close it out here. You are going to see the Luminous Lord take down the inhibitor on the top side. The base has been open for Cloud9, left to defend, and BTK on a possible push. They don't have the minions in the mid lane, though, so it's going to kind of delay them engaging on this play for a possible ender, and the Lord will be bursted down by Cloud9.
I love this little Mark Cutie and Zia there. They're both standing. Mark Cutie knows he's in range of the I'm offended, but Zia knows he has the Purify, and they're both trying to kind of bait out the other skill, but Zia's not falling for it.
Ooh, and you're going to see the inhibitor fall on the bot side. Best Player doing his best, trying to stop the Bloodthirsty Kings, but their synergy is coming alive. It feels like they're decoding Cloud9 right now for game number 2. The Wild Charge play, though. Best Player will make the most out of the setup, takes down Zia the way the Dragon for the knockup. Hoon finds Best Player to respond. Basic finds Shark. Members dropping for both sides, 2-1. Mobazane will find Basic, evening it out 2-2. Demonic Force Zane finding Cora with the hand chains. Demonic Force from Chicken. Hoon! Single Vision will find Mark Cutie. A full wipeout, and the Bloodthirsty Kings will secure victory in game number 2 to even out this series against Cloud9. A full decoding and a flawless victory.
All right, Wheezy, feels like every time we... I love